Hey guys, Beast Priest here. Today I wanted to do something different, which is just me talking over a playthrough as Namor, just in case anyone wants to play this hero and just wants to learn like the most important things. Well, for any MOBA game to start, if you really want to win, you gotta focus on drafting. Okay, so that means you gotta prioritize synergy with your team. In my team's case, I think everyone was on board with us getting this Deadpool because Deadpool is a high priority character. You know, everyone wants to have him and no one wants to play against him because he deals a lot of damage. And honestly, another high priority character in this game's case is gonna be Namor, honestly, because Namor deals a lot of damage during team fights. He has a very big range too, and he just disrupts a lot of what characters try to do. So I was very stoked when I got the chance to play Namor because even if I had just 55.2% win rate on this guy, I had a lot of experience, like 140 plus games, something like that.
I grant you an audience.
Very quickly here, the extra skills, if that's what you call them, I don't know what they're called, honestly. On the lower right, I got Wound and Blink. So Wound is gonna help me do a lot more damage during team fights. Might even give me a bit more gold than I deserve. And Blink is gonna give me the ability to either engage or disengage, depending on the situation. And for any tank in any MOBA game, that is really something that you want. You know, the ability to engage and disengage. This is the build I ended up having at the end of the game. Your builds are going to change slightly depending on who you're up against, but more or less, there are just some items that are going to be consistent in most of these characters. It's important to find out who you're fighting because that's going to dictate your item, sometimes even the skill build. Here, I'm fighting, that's Ant-Man. So, my choices, my actions, and most of my item decisions is based on the fact that this guy can grow just like that. Can just start smacking me. And you have two options. If you're fighting someone who can deal a lot of damage, you can immediately get tanky items. It's actually a good counter whenever you're fighting Ant-Man to get movement speed, because you can just run away. You know, once he starts getting big, you can just run away from his attacks. So movement speed is also pretty good. But for this specific lane, I chose to prioritize my tankiness just like that. So I couldn't. It was very hard to escape. He got 2 hits off of me and did a lot of damage. So I thought if I prioritize my movement speed, it will just help me escape. You know, I can't sustain so much in the lane, so I just decided to focus on getting tanky items first. And oh, I dodged that. So that's a main reason behind the item choice that you're gonna see in this game. Okay, so very important thing to note about Ant-Man when you're fighting against him is that every now and then he's gonna attack you and he's gonna make you small, and when you're small, you're silenced, you can't cast your skills. So that's what happened here, and whenever it happens to me, I just go back, I wait for it to come off, and that's when I start fighting again. No, I don't need to rush, I don't need to be greedy. My priority is to stay in the lane, get as many creep kills, get as much gold and experience as possible, because this guy does a lot of damage, so until I get my items, I'm not really confident like manning up against him. I just need to be very defensive and very careful. Okay, so at this point, it's important to talk about his skills. Both of his first 2 skills are like direction oriented. You point them to a direction, something happens. His first skill sends a pillar of water in front of him, it deals damage. And the second skill is like a spear. If it hits a hero and the hero is standing on water, the spear pulls the hero towards Namor.
And his passive is that whenever he attacks a hero for the first time, there's going to be a pool of water around that hero, and Namor heals when he's standing on water. So for his ultimate, Namor jumps in front of him, and then he's gonna create a big pool of water that pulls in nearby enemy heroes, and they can't escape, and it deals damage. You'll see later on, but anyway, there's no reason to cast my ultimate yet. Again, it's a team fight ultimate, so what I'm doing now is just trying to prevent this Ant-Man from getting too much gold, but again, I'm still being very careful. So, run away. Right, that it really hurts. It's really painful fighter to go against. So now he's gonna try to go to the middle lane. I can't see him, but I can look at him from the minimap, so I know where he is. Okay, so now I'm gonna cast my ultimate. I'm gonna pull him in, and then I'm gonna cast my wound, and that's gonna be a KO for me. So a couple of things there is that to point out there is first, when Ant-Man goes small, you can't see him in your big screen, but you can see him in the minimap if there's supposed to be a vision of him. So I was using that to figure out where Ant-Man is. Okay, that's just one thing to point out there. So now that I've made space here, I'm gonna push this lane, and luckily, Angel came to help me, so that's a lot of pressure applied to this tower. It's not enough to bring it down, but again, no worries, no rush. Okay, I don't have to keep getting kills. I just need to protect my lane. That's the most important thing. I need to protect my lane. I gank when I have to, when I realize I could get a kill just like I did before, but I'm not really getting any other goals after that. So
Protect Angel.
okay, at this point, I saw this Black Widow coming towards us. I immediately need to get back. Widow deals a lot of damage, and honestly, I'm kind of sad for my Angel, but Angel could have spotted that Widow and just went back. Angel has a way to escape, and my only real way to escape actually is my blink out. So this is pretty good time to show you how good this hero is. So this Widow went for me, but I'm really tanky and my wound was on cooldown, so I just chilled and I used my skills to my advantage. So here I noticed that on my minimap, I noticed that enemies were converging to the middle lane. I don't try to take this fight on my own. I still don't have my ultimate and I don't have my health. So I go to the middle tower, the first tier middle tower, to get healed first. And as I'm healing, I'm watching the minimap because I'm gonna cast my ultimate here with my blink, and then a very good ultimate, pull everyone in and just, make so much assistance for my team. That's how we won that team fight. So yeah, I was waiting for them. I didn't go on my own. I made sure that I had a bit of health so I don't immediately die, and I made sure that I had my ultimate to cast. Here, I'm just going to tank this Surtur for my Deadpool, because Deadpool deals a lot of damage, but it's not as tanky as Namor, so that was my role here. Get the Surtur and then we chill. But I see my Angel being chased, so I immediately go up there. I'm gonna frontline here. Everyone's right behind me. I cast my skill and I immediately go out of the tower range. I made a mistake when I went out with my ultimate, so that was gone. So yeah, but for the most part, we did get a kill. The Deadpool's doing his thing at the bottom. He gets 2 because of that disruptive play we did at top. But yeah, I messed up a bit, but it was okay. It worked out in the end. So this Black Widow is again going for me. I'm going to save my Iceman. I'm gonna pull this Black Widow towards me so my Iceman wouldn't die so fast. I'm gonna continue to chase this because we need to get this kill or it will be for nothing. Luckily Angel was there and Angel gets the kill. So this Loki tried to go on me, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. Remember that MOBA games are team games. So as much as I wanted to get this neutral kill for myself, my Deadpool needs it more, so I give it to him, and then I focus on healing. I realized that our Surtur is gonna go top, and to get the most value out of a Surtur, you need to defend it. Sometimes that's not always the case, sometimes you need it for the distraction play, but in this case, we wanted to push, right? And Surtur was gonna help us push, so I needed to defend Surtur a bit.
Attack.
So I'm always looking at the minimap and I notice that a fight is gonna happen. I rush there, I have my blink and my ultimate ready, I jump in and get two guys. I didn't realize I got the Ant-Man as well. But yeah, that's a rampage for me, and that's pretty much the game now because Surtur is right next to us. I try to tank this tower a bit because I know I was really tanky. So we just go for it, just get this tower, and then the rest is, history. So that's it. You just need to be aware of what you're doing. You always need to look at the minimap. You always need to look at your cooldowns, and you need to be sensitive to what your team needs. Those things don't just apply to Namor. Those apply to anyone who wants to play the game. Deadpool's gonna get the MVP here, but honestly, we helped him get to it, so I'm happy with that. So good job to everyone in this game. So yeah, if you want more content like this, let me know. Thanks guys.